Going on, Falcon fans? It's your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. So today we're gonna do a quick take of what happened last night in Atlanta game against the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, and what we can take away from that game moving into our division. Trying to see can we do what Raheem Morris said. His first meeting that he had is run through the soft. That's one of the things that we definitely see we can make happen. But we got to move on from this game. We're gonna talk about it real quick. Takeaways from it. What can we learn from this game? And I'll definitely give you my takeaways. So, guys, before we get started with that, if you had not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys are here to talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in here to talk about. That's right, these Atlanta Falcons. So, guys, first thing we're going to do is the breakdown of the game. Quick overview so you guys get an idea what this game how it kind of transpired. First start right off the bat. The Kansas City Chiefs had 72 plays. Atlanta Falcons only had 56 plays. Passing yards for the Atlanta Falcons was 229 passing yards to their 217. Of course, rushing yards 128 to our 82. We had 6 penalties apiece. Could have probably seen more penalties called. Big thing is the third down. They were 6 for 14 with third down, which is pretty much average. And once again, the Atlanta Falcons was 2 for 9 on third down. And a big stat was we was 1 for 3 on fourth down. So Atlanta Falcons definitely got some rooms to make up and things that they got to do. But if you're looking at the stats overall, I think the biggest things you want to take from this game is time possession. Like I said, the Kansas City Chiefs had the ball for 72 plays. We only had it for 56 plays. And I'm looking at it, no moral victories. When you're talking about games in NFL, it's any given Sunday. It's the third game of the season. You kind of like some of the positive things you take from the Atlanta Falcon game. I know, obviously, people's going to talk about the pass interference call. However, the Falcons did have more opportunities after that missed call, because it was a missed call, to actually win the game. They just could not get it done. It's just that simple. That's the way it crumbles. In my opinion, I'm not going to harp on it too much, but that play, that call, that missed call changed the game. The Atlanta Falcons would have took the lead. It was at the 2-minute warning. They would have had a minute and some change to go down and try to take the lead back. And you have to live with that. More than likely, Patrick Mahomes probably could have achieved that goal, but in my opinion, that changed the momentum of the game. We're at home. The crowd's gonna get loud. I know because I was there. It definitely would have changed, but that's not the reason the Falcons lost. The Falcons lost because they could not get it done. They couldn't execute in key moments of the game. That's why they lost. So I'm not going to harp on it, but it did change the game. And when you're looking at games and people say stuff is not rigged and not fixed, you just got to be consistent, right? The Kansas City Chiefs won the game the prior week on a similar play. Similar to that, it was a pass interference call, and I understand it's probably a different referee and crew as calling that game, but they all go to the same briefings about what is pass interference, and that was clear pass interference. Head was not turned around. He had his arm around Kyle Pitts, and he was not looking at the ball. He got there before the ball got there. It was clear pass interference. The referee was standing right there. You just got to make the call, man. It's just that simple, right? It's a blown call. It did not cost the Atlanta Falcons a game, but it changed the momentum of the game. They still had opportunity to one more play to that, fourth down. They didn't get it done. So, I mean, you could go back and forth. Should they kick the field goal there and then try to get another stop on the Kansas City Chiefs, try to go win the game? Maybe. But, Raheem Morris decided to make a decision to go for it, take the lead, and then put it back on his defense. Either way, they was not able to get that done. And either way you shake it, it was not a good night offensively for the Atlanta Falcons again. Yes, it was a close game, but the offenses still definitely have some things they need to work on. But overall, I think that just looking at the totality of the game is Kansas City was better on third down. They ran the ball better, and they controlled the clock just way more than Atlanta Falcons did. If you look at those three categories, that's where we talk about situational football, and Atlanta Falcons get to get done. The turnovers not an issue. It was 1-1. They got to pick on us. We got to pick on them. But at the end of the day, the Atlanta Falcons have to do better, and our offense, and they just not get it done. And that's kind of been the inconsistency of this team so far in the first 3 weeks. But if you're looking at a glass half full, which as Atlanta Falcons fans, I'm always looking at a glass half full, because if I was not looking at a glass half full, I probably wouldn't be an Atlanta Falcons fan no more, because of all the heartbreak that the Atlanta Falcons have had throughout, in existence since 1966. So you got to be looking at stuff half full. I'm not delusional like a Cowboy fan, but at the same time, I'm a true fan, and so I have to look at stuff from looking at it from a football standpoint, looking at it from a Atlanta Falcons standpoint, and seeing how we can improve, especially going into our divisional games, which is the next three is huge for the Atlanta Falcons. And in my opinion, these next three games, it's kind of tell you, the story of this season, in my opinion. So let's get into real quick. What are the biggest problems right now? We're definitely going to start on the offensive side of the ball. And for the third straight week, the Atlanta Falcons went 2 for 9 on third down. And honestly, when you think about that stat in itself, 2 for 9, 3 consecutive weeks, that's 27 third down plays, and we only converted 6. So, and we only losing 1-score games. So if the Atlanta Falcons can just decide to play better on third down, some of these losses, these 2 losses that we have got, and the the first 3 games definitely would be better. 2 for 9 is not going to get it done. Now, if you look at it, all third downs are not created equal, because first and second down does count in the NFL. So you have to play well on first and second downs. Look at the first game of the season. Atlanta Falcons was in a lot of third and longs. TJ Watt just read the game on third and long, getting third and longs. The percentages on third and longs is not high. So you can kind of understand where, they was having trouble converting those third downs in that Pittsburgh games. Pittsburgh mucked the game up. But, the same thing was in the Philly game. Even though Atlanta Falcons was able to pull off that game, they still went 2 for 9 on third down. They had I think the difference was they had more explosive plays in that game. They did better on first and second down in those games. To not have the third downs where the drives were successful. So third down is the key for the Atlanta Falcons. And what it boils down to right now is, I think it's just the chemistry between the the play caller, the quarterback, his role players, and things like that. It's just some things that the Atlanta Falcons have to decide to do on third down. They have to fix this issue, especially going into this week. They need to look in the mirror to figure out what they need to do, and somehow make corrections, right? Like I said, first and second down, it does matter. So, getting good, yardage on first and second down does help you on your third down conversions. But every time we get in third down, for some reason, so far this season, the Atlanta Falcons have not been successful. And the interesting thing, it's been 2 for 9 every week. So it's consistently where the Atlanta Falcons only convert 2 third downs a game. And amazingly, to be just 1-score games in all 3 of those games is it's something to look at. Like I said, when you look at it from a half glass full standpoint, you're like, wow. But then when you look at it from a like, we're not going to be good this year, they have to improve in that, right? Usually, if you at 45%, 50% is higher is really desirable. But most of the time, if you're at 45% on third down, you're gonna have a pretty good offensive outing each week in and week out. And if the Atlanta Falcons can do that, I think it'll really be key. So the first thing the Atlanta Falcons need to do is be able to, you know, improve third downs. I think if they're looking at anything, right, and people asking what is the issue with that is they're figuring out the Atlanta Falcon third down tendencies. Do they bring more pressure? Where it seemed like Kurt still kind of skittish a little bit, in my opinion, on third downs, where he indecisive where he want to go with the ball. He throwing it like just trying to get rid of it. Like I don't know what it is. If you listen to what B. John said against the Kansas City Chiefs, on a lot of the third downs, they was blitzing heavily, right? So he had to actually stay in, so he couldn't even leak out for outlet passes because they were sending pressure right up the gap. Matter of fact, if you go look at that huge play that Kirk Cousins made to Kyle Pitts, it was because of the blitz pickup by Bijan Robinson to give Kirk Cousins time to make that throw. So, it takes all 11, and they need to start getting unisons and try to figure this out. I think the biggest thing this week is going to be the fact that we're going to lose our right starting tackle and our center for foreseeable future. It looks like Drew Dahlman's going to get a high ankle sprain. We know a high ankle sprain, it could be weeks before he get back. It was reported that Caleb McGarry is going to be day-to-day. They thought it might have been an MCL sprain after imaging. It was not the case. So he's going to be day-to-day, but I'm sure he will not play this Sunday against the New Orleans Saints. So it's going to be the next man up. At the right tackle, we got Storm Norman, who played well for the Atlanta Falcons last year when he came in and started some couple of games for Atlanta Falcons, and as well as Ryan Newsome. Both of those guys had significant playing time last year. So let's see, can they, feel right in to the offensive line? I think the biggest issue is going to be our run game. Caleb McGarry is an excellent run blocker. Not so tough in the passing game, but in the run game, he's really well. Let's see how well Storm Norman can be able to continue to help in the run game. I think Ryan Newsome and Drew Dahlman is really close, in playing style. I think Ryan Newsome might be a better pass protector than Drew Dahlman, but Drew Dahlman is so good getting up to the second level, getting on the linebackers in the run game. So it's going to be interesting to see how this run game take place. The run game is huge for our Atlanta Falcons offense because of the play action pass. And you saw how that transpired with the Atlanta Falcons last night in the Sunday night game, because we was not able to get the run game going. It affected a lot of things for Atlanta Falcons. They only had 82-yard rushing. So we got to be able to run the ball. That is the catalyst of this West Coast offense in the first place. You got to be able to run the ball because everything is predicated off that zone stretch. And if they could get that going downhill, set up a lot of more opportunities for the Atlanta Falcons, against the New Orleans Saints this week. John says, Raquando good either. Atlanta give us time of day. It's completely a penalty, not called 100%. But like I said, I'm really one of the guys that don't like to put things on the refs, right? I think so many plays in the game, and you don't want to blame the refs for it. But like I said, I just want consistency. In my opinion, at that point of the game, it's only like 2 minutes left in the game, right? It changes the momentum of the game. Just call it down the right line, man. It was a face mask on that same drive. And then, what really irks fans, the next drive, they call 3 penalties on the defense where like they're trying to make up for the missed call in the red zone, in the end zone, right? And it just seems like it's fool's gold. So that's why I don't like it. Talking about that penalty, because it seems like they trying to make up. They know they blew it, and then they try to make up calls. But that opportunity is gone. Now we got to create new opportunities. So, like I said, I'm not going to harp on it, but it changed the game. It really did, right? You get first and goal at the 1 yard line. with time on the clock, and unless we get in on the first snap on that first and goal at the 1, we're going to continue to chew the clock up. And if we finally do punch it in, you don't know how much time left on the clock, how much time we give Patrick Mahomes to go down and do what he do. And like I said, he probably would have did what he did. Like, that's Patrick Mahomes. So I'm not saying that wouldn't be the case, but at least, it would have been fair. That's what I'm saying. That's not why we lost the game, guys. Let's just want to go ahead and throw that out. Eddie says it wasn't much blitzing. The mere fact that KC, it was blitzing. It was blitzing. The players even said it was blitzing. I see. This is where you start to really just be talking out your mouth, man, because they were blitzing. The players even say they was blitzing. They was blitzing the whole game, like in the second half. That's what they started to do. In the second half, they started blitzing. So don't say it wasn't that much blitzing, because it was. Like, please, man, just watch. Go back and watch the game. I was there in the second half. They blitzed a lot. That's what they decided to start to do, right? Rush the pass. That's why Kirk Cousins kept doing those freaking passes out wide, because they was packing the box. It was putting 8 in the box. They was shooting all the gaps. That's what they did on that last play. Bolton shot the gap because they was blitzing. That's what they was doing the whole game. So, second half of the game anyway. EQ said, next man up. Good. We won't go downfield twice. Captain Kirk made bad throws to London, then Pitts. They should have been high throws and better in each week. Yeah, it seemed like they would practice those, because you're right. Even if the defender was on Kyle Pitts, which he was, it was pass interference, but he threw a high. Pitts said it went up and got it instead of trying to catch it around his body when he was getting tackled before the ball got there. But you're right. You're absolutely right. You got two big targets up there. Put it up high and get them opportunity to catch it up high. That's a great point on your point, EQ. See, guys, this right here is where, like, I in my opinion, I don't understand why Eddie don't coach NFL football, because he swear he knows like everybody packages and what they do in their schemes and how they going to call it and all this stuff. Like, he said he will provide the package state of their game. Shooting gaps, not blitzing. Man, that was blitzing on the passing plays. I ain't talking about running plays. You blitz on passing plays. Come on, man. Come on, guy. Come on, my guy. Like, honestly, man, you're a trip, bro. You're a trip. Anyway, I think another big problem that we're having is and I think if you hear what Justin Simmons and Jesse Bates said, the run game on defenses, it's just too many yards they're getting on rundown. I mean, they only average 3.9 yards a carry for the Kansas City Chiefs, so it's not a big average, but it just kept them on the field a lot. They had the ball for over 34 minutes, almost 35 minutes in that game of time possession. That is not a formula for the Atlanta Falcons to keep our defense out there. Just too many long drives that they had. Now they was able to hold up and make plays. They was able to stop them and keep them in field goals. I mean, giving 22 points to the Kansas City Chiefs is really, really good. But those leaky run plays, and honestly, these 3 weeks, I thought the Atlanta Falcons would be better than run. I just weird with big Eddie Goldman in the middle, David Amayada, Grady Jarrett. I thought the Atlanta Falcons would be better on their run defense. I think the pass defense has been excellent this season. But from a run defense standpoint, it's a little, disappointing to see the teams be able to run the ball. I mean, of course, that's what Pittsburgh want to do. Pittsburgh ran the ball 41 times. So, for 130, I think 137 yards. That's not really a lot, but that's what they want to do. They want to control the clock. Philadelphia got one of the biggest offensive lines in the league. Right now, they ran the ball down the Atlanta Falcons' throat, even though, like I said, they didn't put up a lot of points. Think about it. We won that game 21-20. So that was we was able to stall those guys when they got in the red zone and things like that. But we got to be able to stop the run. I think that's a little underwhelming to me, that to see that we giving up all these rushing yards. I mean, the biggest thing is you're looking at them 6 for 14 on third down. A lot of those thirds down was third and shorts. And that's a winning formula for any offense. You get them third and 2, third and 3, third and 4. You're going to convert that. The averages go up tremendously on those short third downs. So, those rundowns, and it kind of remind me. I don't know if you guys remember, we went up to Washington one season, a couple seasons back now. I think Marcus Mariota was our quarterback, and it was similar to that. Washington didn't score a lot of points, but they kept the ball pretty much the whole game. I think we had limited possessions on offense because we could not stop the run, and those guys were just getting in third and shorts, converting first down, third and short, converting first down. Then they stall in the red zone, right? But it limits the number of possessions that our offense get for our offense and get any kind of rhythm. So we have to be able to fix the that problem on our defense, on third down to be able to get off the field. So, I'm impressed with what our defense have been doing so far this season through the first 3 games. But, those are some of the rooms I think they can improve in. They could be better, be more stout in the run game on defense. And let's see, can we get off the field on third downs? That's what we got to do. You say he a Dallas fan. He has no idea. He don't understand nothing about running the ball, stopping the run, or running the ball, because Dallas can't do either, run or stop. We will get better in run stop. Nate get back, try step slow on the play to me. Yeah, he right. I think downhill, when you mean by play from sideline to sideline, Troy Anderson is really smooth. But you're right, going downhill, you are correct. Nate Landman is a thumper, and he's that downhill linebacker that you might be right. We kind of need to be able to do better in the run game, but we got to be able to start to do better in that. I think another problem is the and I think Ryan Clark mentioned this. I mentioned it all game on last night when I watched the game, is where's Kyle Pitts? I think Kyle Pitts it's just not getting enough touches, in my opinion. I think Kyle Pitts is a mismatch. Start this season, I thought he was going to be a guy that's going to have a breakout season, but he's just not being utilized like he should. I think if you look at what Kyle Pitts can able to create from being at the tight end position, not spreading them out and putting them on cornerbacks and things like that, but on linebackers and safeties, and use him as a tight end, I think he can be more explosive. That play, the big play that he had, just displays his talent, his skill set, and he's not being used the way that he need to be used. I think that's one of the things you have to unlock this offense. And right now, it's like it's something holding it back. I don't know if it's still the chemistry, still the rust from Kurt, but some of these guys can be more explosive. I'm starting to love the chemistry between Darnell Mooney and Kirk Cousins and Drake London as well. The receivers are starting to get more touches, especially what we seen last night. I like what I saw, but Kyle Pitts is a skill set, it's a talent that to me it's just being underused, right? If you just got to be able to utilize them, and you just have to look at how other tight ends. I mean, if you go look at how the Philadelphia Eagles used Dallas Goedert this past weekend against our next opponent, the New Orleans Saints. I mean, just utilizing, because you put him on linebackers, they can't run with him right now because of because of Kyle Pitts' skill set, they might be smart enough not to put a linebacker on him. I understand that. So they might have put a DB on him. But Kyle Pitts is 6'6". He'll be able to use that wingspan. I think they need to be able to use Kyle Pitts and put him in more spots to be better utilize his skill set. He's not being utilized. I mean, the saddest part about it is the best we've seen Kyle Pitts utilize was in his first season with Matty Ice, right? When the guy went over 1,000 yards, right? They utilized him. Now, granted, they only had, CP as their other playmaker on the whole team. That's the year Calvin Ridley actually went out after week 5. But Kyle Pitts will utilize his skill set, will utilize his talent, will utilize, and we just not seeing freaking Kyle Pitts utilized the right way. I think that's one of our biggest problems. I think he's a weapon that's just being underutilized. If they could start to utilize Kyle Pitts better, because we've seen how explosive he is. He's a big player on this team, along with Darnell Mooney. Both of those guys are. Drake London is the possession receiver. He's physical. He's going to make the tough catches, but your big play guys is Kyle Pitts and Darnell Mooney, and we got to be able to utilize those guys in the passing game. And you eventually you're gonna have to unlock it if this team is going to live up to its fullest potential. It's going to have to be utilizing Kyle Pitts and what he does well. Drake London. You're gonna have to start getting that running game going, and we got to stop shooting ourselves in the foot, and we got to be better on third down. Those are where we're at right now. Going into week 4, going into our divisional games, is where some of the things we're going to have to start getting it done. Right now, I'm not going to do the keys, but you start thinking about divisional games. It's opponents we know, right? And we know this week is hate week, right? It's what it is. It's hate week. We don't like the Saints. They don't like us. It's all about, getting the lead in this division. That's what we need to do. So I can't wait to Sunday. Tune in tomorrow for you hear about my turn Wednesday. You hear about my keys to victory for this New Orleans game. But it's all about what we need to get done now, right? We lost to 2 AFC opponents. It's bad, right? Getting the kinks out, things like that. But now we're getting into divisional play. Now these where the games really matter, right? And the Falcons need to lock in all these little things, all these little issues that we're having. They need to figure it out this week, right? And start to get the rolling. Because if the Atlanta Falcons, in these next 3 weeks can go 3-0, that's going to put us really well to win the division and put us really good in the NFC as well. So we're going to take it one game at a time. The Aints is first. We know what it is. We know them. They know us. It's no secrets. And I knew it. I just knew it. All that hype on the Aints offense. It came crumbling down yesterday. And it's not like the Philadelphia Eagles all of a sudden unlock something in their defense. I mean, we saw what Green Bay did to them. We saw what the Atlanta Falcons do to them. All of a sudden, the Philadelphia Eagles figured out after one game how to no. The Saints offense is not as good as everybody thought they were. It's just that simple. The Eagles still the Eagles. They still the same defense. Just like the Cowboys still the same defense. Just like all the other teams, all of them are still the same defense. The Eagles didn't unlock anything. The Saints just not as good as people thought they were. It's just that simple. Look at some of these comments. Y'all don't know Jack. At least I played 3 levels of football. Shut up. Casey only been 8 times. Okay. Whatever. The Falcon offensively working systematic. The new alignment, it will take longer than expected. You don't know. So the Falcons offensively is working systematic, a new alignment that will take longer than expected. So my question to you, what's the Cowboys' excuse for their offense? Because it's not new. Mike McCarthy was there last year. They got the same quarterback. They got the same players. Why the Cowboys can't get their offense going? Don't worry about the Falcons. Just worry about your own team. I hope Hicks and Kurt is on the same page. Does Pitt run the route right so Kurt knows he's doing, or Kurt is just not getting him to progress? I don't know, man. That's a great point. I don't, one of the things that every offense play, right? And that's why I admire about Kyle Shanahan, because most of the time, Julio was always the first read, right? And that's one of the things we got to think about when you think about these offensive play calls, because usually, the guy you want to get the ball is that first read. Now, you hear Kurt a lot of times he's talking about he get to his third and fourth read. Now, one thing we can consider in all this is these guys getting space, or they're getting separation for Kurt to be able to deliver the ball. That's something you dive into. Probably look at the all 22 and start looking at that. And like I said, for me, most time I'm at the game, I'm looking where the ball going. So that's something I probably need to get into and see if they're actually creating separation where they actually be able to get the ball. So that's a good point about Kyle Pitts. Is he a great route runner? Is he some of the things? But I don't know what routes they calling for him. I think Kyle Pitts should be running crossing routes, running away from the defender, utilizing his speed. The guy ran a 4.4 in the 40. He should be running crossing routes like tight ends do, or seam routes, right? Those are the kind of routes Kyle Pitts should be running. If they got him running outs and things like that, and hitches and stuff like that, that's not. That's wide receiver routes, man. Run a tight end route, run seams, run crossing routes, right? Get him lined up in the middle of the field against those linebackers, against those safeties. That's where he's going to have the advantage at. And if they're not doing that, they're not utilizing him the right way. That's what I'm talking about. Dartmouth said, thanks. I'm glad somebody listening to me and understanding that I watch the games. I'm right there. And so those are some of the things. He said Matt threw it high to Tony no matter if he was covered or not. He trusted Tony. Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and it does seem that way sometimes, because we've seen a couple of times where Kurt looked towards Kyle Pitts and he was scared to pull the trigger, right? And like I said, I don't know if separations, got to go back and look at it, but he got to his second and third reads on some of those plays. So that's a great point about how Matt did what he did, but it just seemed like Kurt is not comfortable yet, and that's it's going to take time. But guys, guess what? We got to get in the division rounds. It's now or never, man. This is what it's all about. This is a big game for the Falcons. The Saints. I mean, they just got to do it, man. It's time to do it. There's no other way around it. Season's not over, but I mean, if you want to outrun the South, what the mantra was with Steve, if you want to outrun the South, you got to freaking start here. And we're going to get into that on Wednesday. So I definitely want you guys to tune in to my keys to hate week, because that's exactly what it is. It is 100% hate week, and I can't wait. I just can't wait until this Sunday. All right, the Atlanta Falcons got 2 home games back to back. Actually, they got a Sunday night game. Then guess what? They got a Thursday night game right after that. So it's going to be tough. And they play the Aints, then they play the Bucks back-to-back weeks. So, and then they go on the road to play the Carolina Panthers. So 3 division opponents back-to-back. It's just week 4. It's not make or break season and anything like that. But you want to start off good. You want to start off in your division. And I just don't like the Aints. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It ain't about X's and O's and things like that. I just don't like those guys. I don't want them to win nothing. So we just need to beat them. Just like it is what it is. And I'm not going to give them any props. I don't care about none of their players. I don't care about Kamara. I don't care about Carr. I don't care about Demario Davis. I don't care about Honey Badger. I don't care about Lattimore. I can care less about any of those guys. Like, whatever. Bring it on. We're ready to play. That's how I feel about it. Oh, you're not spot on. Whatever. NFL scout analyze the game. They're spot on. You're not an NFL scout, brother. You just like us. You are just like. You're not an NFL scout neither. That's what you're not NFL scout either. So you're not spot on. You losing both of them. First of all, you need to give me my $100 because I told you the Atlanta Falcons are going to keep 8 defensive tackles. It's in the chat. Everybody can go back and look at the live chats because you said that we were going to keep 4 defensive tackles. We kept 8, like I mentioned, and we kept 8. So you need to give me my $100 for that. Second of all, you want to bet on these 2 games that we lose? I bet you another 100. He said that's where he get his facts. It's still an opinion because this is the thing about what you're reading, right? None of those guys working with those teams. They're getting their opinions based off what they think is happening as well. They have no inside. Just like when you read the insiders, whatever you read, and you said Atlanta Falcons keeping 4 defensive tackles and they kept 8. So obviously they're not right all the time, and they're guessing just like we're guessing. So that's the point I'm making. So please just stop with your little insider, whatever you're reading and trying to deduce and tell us about our team that we watch and we love every week. You said 4. I can go back and pull up the thing. You said 4 defensive linemen. You said 4. You said 4. I said 8. We went up and down the field on the Super Bowl champs. Just needed more completions. Yeah, man, you're right. Freaking we just gotta do better, man, on offense. Yes, they do. They're in the league front office. Okay, league front office, not in the organization front office, not with the organization. They're in the league front office, so they don't know what's going on in the organization. They don't know what's going on in the organization. Honestly, I don't know how much you're paying those guys, but you're wasting your money. You really are, man. You wasting your money, bro. Because I ain't read no insiders. I can just watch the games and I can tell you what I see. And I'm not wasting any money on insiders, scouts, and all this to tell me stuff that's not true. And that's after we lost. Yeah, we lost both our linemen. I don't know if you heard me earlier. Caleb McGarry, day to day. Probably won't play this weekend against the Aints. Probably won't play Thursday night neither, because we then after that we'll get a mini bye after that. So then maybe come back for that Panthers game if he's day to day. Ryan News got a high ankle sprain. You know how those go. Pretty much just how tough he is. Sometimes high ankle sprains almost like you could be out weeks for that. So we'll just have to see. I have relatives and friends all throughout the NFL. Don't seem like it. Doesn't seem like it. So, guys, that's all I have today. Real quick, I really wanted to talk about the Sunday night game. I'm not as disappointed, as I was the first game of the season, because you see the improvements. But the strangest thing is, the same thing is popping up, and that's third down. We got to be able to fix third down. We can't let them stop our run game. We got to get Kyle Pitts more involved in the game, and then we need to be more stingy on our run defense. If we do those things, I think Atlanta Falcons can really, be a scary team week in and week out against different opponents, in this league. So if they can start to do that, that's going to be huge for them. It's early in the season, just 3 games. If you listen to the locker room, there's nobody, discouraged. Yes, nobody likes to lose, but you can see, potential of this team. Honestly, I think they left probably like 3 interceptions out there that they probably could have got, especially the one deep to Worthy, where Mike Hughes had in his hand. I think Jesse Bate had another one. If we just make some of those plays, it changes the trajectory of games. So we got to be able to start to make to capitalize on plays like that as well, especially against a team like the Kansas City Chiefs. With poised quarterback that they have and things that that he's able to do when he get the ball in his hand. But sky's the limit for this team if they can just fix those issues that I just mentioned. It's not a lot. It's really just attention to detail, right? Kirk needs to settle down a little bit more. He needs to start, getting the ball out to the right space, getting the ball in the playmaker's hand. And if he can do that, I think this Atlanta Falcons team get going. But this week's game is going to be huge for the Atlanta Falcons. And that's where we at. As he said, NFL is about injuries, next man up for the game. And whatever. Everybody knows that. 100% injury rate. So everybody knows it's about the next man up. So guys, that's all I have today. Thank you guys for tuning in to Monday recap of the Sunday night game. Not as doom and gloom as I was the first game of the season at home, because the offense was so inept. Still got issues on offense, but you can start to see this team starting to come around a lot more. You love fighting this team. It's starting to take the personality of the head coach like that. But we got to start to finish games, man. It's just that simple. If we can do that, I think we can start to playoffs win. And guys, you go look at my breakdown. I had the Atlanta Falcons going 1-2 in the first 3 games. I just knew it. I had it backwards. I thought we was going to beat the Steelers and lose to the Eagles and the Chiefs. We lost to the Steelers, won to the Eagles, and lost to the Chiefs. We could easily be 0-3. Every team probably can say something like that. They could be either 3-0, whatever. But going 1-2 out of the first 3 games, I thought was a good litmus test for this team going into our division games. Now we can see what this team is really made of, and that's what I can't wait to see. Let's get these 2 linemen ready for next game. Keep feeding the rookie, the rock to BJ Algier. Play action. Yes. There you go. Sounds good. The one thing about the Aints, they know us, we know them. Ain't no secrets. It's no secrets. No secret at all. You said we need to crash your car. Yes, please turn in on Wednesday. We definitely want to talk about the keys to victory for that game. Haters still here, 8-9. We'll see. That's all I have, guys. This is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.